What are you doing? I demanded. Aunt Sarah said I could have this room, Madison smirked. It's bigger than the guest room, and I need space for all my things. Get out, I screamed. This is my room. Not anymore, she taunted, throwing my books off the shelves. Your mom says you're moving to the small room down the hall. I lost it. I lunged at Madison, and we both went down in a tangle of arms and legs. I pulled her hair while she scratched at my face, both of us screaming. Richard and Mom ran in, pulling us apart. Helen, Mom shrieked. How dare you? Go to your new room right now. No, this is my room, Dad gave it to me. Richard grabbed my arm roughly. Your father is dead, he snarled. This is my house now, and you'll do as you're told. They locked me in the small guest room for 2 days, only letting me out for school and bathroom breaks. My books and things were piled in boxes in the corner, and Dad's bookshelf was thrown out with the trash. Through the wall, I could hear Madison playing music in my old room and Mom laughing with Janet downstairs like nothing was wrong. A few weeks after the room incident, I was heading to the bathroom late at night when I heard voices from downstairs. I crept to the top of the stairs, staying in the shadows. A girl is becoming more difficult every day, Richard was saying. She's disrupting our family harmony. Have you considered finding her another home? My heart stopped. Another home? You mean adoption? Mom asked, and my blood ran cold at how thoughtful she sounded. I suppose that could work. She's still young enough. It would be better for everyone, Janet added. Madison's afraid of her after that attack, and honestly, she doesn't fit in here anymore. I ran back to my room, buried my face in my pillow, and told myself they couldn't mean it. Mom wouldn't give me away. She couldn't. I pushed the conversation to the back of my mind, convincing myself it was just talk. 2 months later, my 13th birthday arrived. I wasn't expecting much, my birthdays hadn't been celebrated since Dad died. To my surprise, Uncle Robert and Aunt Patricia showed up at the door. Happy birthday, Helen, Uncle Robert said, hugging me tight. His eyes narrowed when Richard walked past, ignoring us completely. Mom had thrown together a hasty dinner, probably embarrassed that Dad's brother might judge her. The tension around the table was thick enough to cut with a knife. Then Mom cleared her throat. Actually, Robert, Patricia, I'm glad you're here. There's something I need to discuss. Something in her tone made my stomach clench. Helen isn't happy here, Mom continued, not looking at me. And frankly, we're not happy either. She doesn't fit in with our new family dynamic. I decided to put her up for adoption. The words hit me like a physical blow. The conversation I'd overheard hadn't been just talk after all. I thought since you and Patricia don't have children of your own, Mom continued, her voice casual as if she were discussing the weather, you might want to take her. If not, I'll start looking for other families. A room spun. I couldn't breathe. On my birthday, she was giving me away. On my birthday. Uncle Robert's chair scraped back so violently it fell over. I'll take her, he thundered, his face red with fury. And you, Sarah, are the most despicable excuse for a mother I've ever seen. How dare you? Richard started to stand, but one look from Uncle Robert made him sink back into his chair. Patricia, Uncle Robert said, his voice gentler, help Helen pack her things. We're leaving now. Aunt Patricia wrapped an arm around my shaking shoulders and led me upstairs. They packed quickly, throwing my clothes and few remaining possessions into bags. I was crying so hard I could barely see. It's going to be okay, sweetheart, Aunt Patricia kept whispering. They've got you now. I walked out of that house without looking back at Mom. She didn't try to stop me, didn't try to say goodbye. The last thing I heard as Uncle Robert closed the car door was Madison asking if she could have my new room too. The transition wasn't easy at first. I'd wake up in my new room at Uncle Robert and Aunt Patricia's house, momentarily confused about where I was. But then I'd smell Aunt Patricia's coffee and bacon wafting up from the kitchen and remember that I was home, my real home. The adoption process moved quickly. Mom signed away her rights without hesitation, which hurt at the time but eventually felt like a blessing. Uncle Robert and Aunt Patricia became Mom and Dad on paper, making official what was already true in my heart. Helen, Uncle Robert said one morning over breakfast, we enrolled you in Riverside Prep. It's a better school than your old one, and we think you'll like it there. I did like it there. Without the constant stress of my old home life, I started doing better in classes. My teachers noticed, and so did my new parents. They came to everything, every school play, every academic award ceremony, every parent-teacher conference. When I joined the debate club, they sat through every competition, beaming with pride even when I lost. They encouraged me to try new things, piano lessons, summer science camps, volunteering at the local animal shelter. They supported it all, not just with money but with genuine interest and involvement. The pain of my mother's rejection faded gradually, replaced by the warm certainty of being truly loved. I stopped thinking about her, stopped wondering if she ever thought about me. My new life was too full, too happy for those old hurts to matter anymore. High school graduation came, and I had the loudest cheering section in the audience. Not just Uncle Robert and Aunt Patricia, but their whole extended family who had embraced me as their own. We have something to tell you, Aunt Patricia said at my graduation dinner. They'd been saving for your college fund since the day you came to live with us. They'd put aside enough to send me to any school I chose. I picked State University's business school, planning to major in investment management. College was incredible. I threw myself into my studies, determined to make them proud. During my junior year internship at Goldman Sachs, Aunt Patricia mentioned casually that she'd run into my birth mother at the grocery store. She has a son now, Aunt Patricia said carefully, watching my reaction. They're still in your father's old house with Richard's family. I just nodded, surprised to feel nothing but mild curiosity. That life seemed like a distant dream now, happening to someone else. After graduation, I landed a job at Morgan Stanley. My starting salary made my eyes pop. It was more money than I'd ever imagined making right out of college. The day I got my first paycheck, I went straight to the jewelry store. Uncle Robert had been wearing the same worn-out watch for years, and Aunt Patricia had been eyeing a particular pearl necklace in a local shop window. When I gave them their gifts, Aunt Patricia started crying, and Uncle Robert's hand shook as he put on his new watch. "You shouldn't have spent your money on us," he protested weakly. "Who else would I spend it on?" I asked, hugging them both. "They're my parents. You're the ones who made all of this possible." 6 years flew by after college. I climbed the corporate ladder at Morgan Stanley, earning promotion after promotion until I was managing my own team. Every success felt sweeter because I could share it with Mom and Dad, as I now called Uncle Robert and Aunt Patricia without hesitation. The apartment came first, a beautiful two-bedroom condo in a nice part of the city. Mom helped me decorate it, and Dad insisted on checking all the paperwork before I signed the mortgage. Then I met Michael. A year of dating, and he proposed during a weekend trip to the beach. I said yes before he even finished asking the question. Mom cried when we told them, and Dad pulled Michael into a bear hug. "Welcome to the family, son," he said, his voice gruff with emotion. We threw ourselves into wedding planning. Mom and I spent weekends looking at venues and tasting cakes, while Dad and Michael bonded over budget spreadsheets and vendor contracts. Then the message arrived on Facebook. "Helen, sweetheart, I've heard about your upcoming wedding. I know it's been a long time, but I'm still your mother. I've changed, and I want to make things right. Please, let me be part of your special day. I miss you so much." My hand shook as I read the message. I immediately called Mom. "I saw Sarah yesterday," Mom said quietly when I told her about the message. "At the grocery store. She didn't ask about you, not once. But when I mentioned how successful you've become, how you're getting married, well, her eyes lit up in a way I didn't like." Mom hesitated before continuing. "There's more. That niece of her husband's, Madison, she got pregnant, married some deadbeat, and moved back into the house with her husband. The whole family is constantly fighting." Sarah was complaining about money problems rather loudly in the middle of the store. I felt a cold knot form in my stomach. So that's why she reached out. She needs money. I stared at the message for a long time before responding. My fingers hovered over the keyboard as memories flooded back, the room she gave away, the years of silence when she had every opportunity to reach out but didn't. Finally, I typed, "Sarah, let me be clear. You are not my mother. You lost that right when you gave me away on my 13th birthday. I have parents who love me unconditionally, something you never managed to do. I don't want you at my wedding. I don't want you in my life. Don't contact me again." I hit send, then immediately blocked her. My hands were steady now, my mind clear. I felt lighter somehow, as if I'd finally put down a weight I didn't know I was carrying. The morning of my wedding dawned perfect and clear. Michael's parents had rented the Mason Creek estate for the ceremony, a beautiful historic property with sprawling gardens and a restored Victorian mansion. I was in the bridal suite with Mom putting the finishing touches on my makeup when there was a knock at the door. "Miss Anderson," one of the security guards looked uncomfortable. "I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's a situation at the front gate. There are some people insisting they know you, a man, woman, and teenage boy." My stomach dropped. Somehow, I knew exactly who it was. "I'll handle this," I said, standing up carefully in my wedding dress. "Helen, you don't have to," Mom started, but I shook my head. "Yes, I do. Once and for all." I walked to the front gates, my wedding heels clicking against the cobblestone path. And there they were, Sarah, Richard, and a boy who must have been my half-brother, though he looked exactly like Madison.